Assalamu alaikum. We are starting Dawa program in a minute. Assalamu alaikum.
I didn't know you were even there. How many? 6 people, right? 6 of you?
Yes.
7. 7? That's fine. You can always.
Oh, sorry.
No, Russian.
Okay, Russian.
So 6.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's 6.
How are you today? Good, good. You want to come? Huh? You go help Jordan. Okay, one more coming?
No, I think Russian has to work.
Yes.
So I think it's just us.
Oh, just you, okay. So, it's good to see you here. I didn't know, 6 people, so I thought maybe 6. I put 6 chairs. Yeah, but I would like to thank you for coming. And are you from a local Michigan? No? Chicago. Oh, neighbor, not too far. Yeah. So it's good to see you. So how long you been in Detroit?
1 day.
1 day? Okay. So even in visited masjid before, mosque? Not this one, but
I visited this one.
oh, you came here before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because the mosque is a house of worship. It's not only for a particular one religion, it's for mankind. Because this is a house of God. That's what we consider like whoever follow monotheism, one God, yeah, mosque is the place. And do you know about Islam? What is Islam? And what the difference between Islam and other religion? Little idea, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, but I will explain you what actually Islam is. Yeah, because I'm just recording from the back. If I make mistake, so I can correct myself. So is it okay? So I'm not. I'm just putting from the back. But anyway, so I will introduce briefly about what is Islam, what the difference between others and Islam, and who are Muslims. There is 2 things: Islam and Muslim. Islam is the religion, and who follow Islam, they are called Muslim. But I would like to greet you first, probably in my slide. It will better understanding, what is Islam by presentation. So after that, you can ask me questions. If you have any question, I will try to answer if I know, because I'm a student of comparative religion. So I would like to introduce and greet you with the greeting of Jesus. Peace be with you. Because Jesus always, when he met people, even when he entered into an empty house, he greet, peace be with you. If there is no people, the angels are there. So it mentioned, and also in Old Testament, shalom, and in Islam, in Arabic, is called salam, assalamu alaikum. And whoever here, they say back, wa alaikum salam, peace be with you too. So, the meaning of Islam, I would like to give you a little bit idea about what Islam is. So, every religion of the world has been named either after its founder or after the community or nation in which it was born. For instance, Christianity takes its name from Prophet Jesus Christ. Buddhism from founder Gautam Buddha, Zoroastrianism from Zoroaster, Judaism from the religion of Jews, from the name of the tribe Judah, of the country of Judea, where it was originated. The same is true of all other religions except Islam, which enjoys the unique distinction of having no such association with any particular person, people, or country, nor is it product of a human mind. It is a universal religion, and its objective is to create and cultivate in man equality and attitude of Islam. So that's what I said, the place of worship is for mankind. It's not particular one kind of religion. So what is Islam again? The Islam, in fact, is an attribute title. Anyone who possesses this attribute, whatever race, community, country, and group he belongs to, is a Muslim. According to the Quran, the last testament, among every people in all ages, there have been good and righteous people who possess this attribute, and all of them were and are Muslim. So Islam, what does it mean? Islam is an Arabic word meaning submission, surrender, and obedience. This is not like following the teaching of somebody. It's submission to one God. As a religion, Islam stands for complete submission and obedience to God. So everyone can see that we live in an orderly universe where everything is assigned a place in a grand scheme. The moon, the stars, and all the heavenly bodies are knit together in a magnificent system. They follow unalterable laws and make not even the slightest deviation from their ordained courses. So, yeah, just excuse me. Hello. Oh, I'm in a meeting. Okay. So man's birth, growth, and life all regulated by a set of biological laws. It derives sustenance from nature in accordance with an unalterable law. All the organs of his body, from the smallest tissue to the heart and brain, are governed by the laws prescribed for them. In short, ours is a law-governed universe, and everything in it following the course that has been ordained for it. So our body and system, everything follows whatever God put in there. So the whole universe, therefore, literally follows the religion of Islam, for Islam signifies nothing but obedience and submission to God, the Lord of the universe. The sun, the moon, the earth, and all other heavenly bodies are thus Muslim. So who submit his will to the will of God, they are Muslim. Muslim is not like a father Muslim, grandfather Muslim, and he is Muslim. No, if he don't submit to God, then he can be Muslim. Anybody can be Muslim, who submit himself to one God. So are the air, water, heat, stones, trees, animals, everything in the universe is Muslim, for it obeys God by submission to his law. Even a man who refuses to believe in God or offers his worship to someone other than God has necessarily to be a Muslim as far as his existence is concerned. So all the people born from Adam to the last guy, they're Muslim by everything other than tongue and brain, because God gave us freedom. So for man's entire life, for the embryonic stage to the body's dissolution into dust after death, every tissue of his muscle and every limb of his body follows the course prescribed by God's law. So his very tongue, which on account of his ignorance advocates the denial of God and processes multiple deities, is in its very nature Muslim. His head, which he once only bowed to other besides God, is born Muslim. His heart, which through his lack of true knowledge cherishes love and reverence for others, is Muslim by intuition. So these are the obedient to the divine law, and their functions and movements are governed by the injunctions of that law alone. So let us now examine the situation from the different angle. Man is so constituted that there are two distinct spheres of his activity. One is the sphere in which he finds himself totally regulated by the divine law. Like other creatures, he is completely caught in the grip of the physical laws in nature and is bound to follow them. But there is another sphere of his activity. He has been endowed with a reason and intellect. He has the power to think and form judgments, to choose and reject, to approve and spurn. So he is free to adopt whatever course in his life he chooses. He can embrace any faith and live by any ideology he likes. He may prepare his own code of conduct or accept any formulated by others. So unlike other creatures, he has been given freedom of thought, choice, and action. In short, man has been bestowed with free will. So we get freedom to do whatever we like. So as an individual who chooses to acknowledge his creator, accept him as his real master, honestly and carefully submits to his laws and injunction and follows the code, he has achieved completeness in Islam by consciously deciding to obey God in the domain in which he was blessed with freedom of choice. He is a perfect Muslim. His submission of his entire self to the will of God is Islam and nothing but Islam. His tongue is also truthful, for it expresses his belief in the Lord Most High, who gave it the power of speech. In fact, his entire living as an example of truth, for in all areas of life, he voluntarily as well as involuntarily obeys the laws of one God, the Lord of the universe, and by so doing he worships him who the whole universe worships. This is the natural condition, and such a man is truly God's representative on earth. The whole world is for him and he is for God. So this is basically the explanation of Islam. Islam is not a religion like follow someone, because Islam is from salam, is greeting, peace. So whenever when God created Adam, so God said, you will be introduced to the group of angels and you greet them, peace be with you. So the group of angels, they answered, peace and blessings be with you. So that's the peace. That's in Arabic called salam. From salam, Islam is same thing, peace. So peace be with you. So it started from the beginning, and all the prophets came with the same message. There is no God but one God. Obey God and submit to him. So all the messengers from Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, David, Solomon, Muhammad, all peace be upon them, they have same message. Obey one God and submit to him. And this is the one message from every messenger God sent for us. So I will go a little bit further about what Jesus said and everything. So you might be surprised to find out that Muslims love, honor, and respect Jesus. In fact, denial of Jesus as a mighty prophet of God amounts unbelief. He is considered one of the most important prophets of Islam in a long chain of God's prophets that include Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, David, Solomon, Muhammad, peace be upon them. So the last testament mentioned, about Jesus. So Jesus' position in Islam, Muslims believe his birth was a miracle, and also he was the Messiah, and he was the prophet and messenger of God, because God sent message through Jesus. So Jesus was a prophet and a messenger of God. So the mission of Jesus, who is prophet? Prophet means who follow the testament came before and implement, tell people about that. And if people make mistake, like the Jews they did, that's what Jesus came as a Jew, and he corrected them, and that was the wrong thing, they put him in cross. So Jesus was the Messiah, and that's what Muslims believe. Jesus was a prophet, and Muslim believe, and also a messenger. He got the revelations. So the mission of Jesus as the other prophets, so that is invite their people to worship the one true God. So by God's permission, Jesus performed many miracles like healing lepers and the blind and many other things. So these are from the Last Testament. So Jesus is not God or part of the Trinity, because Trinity was not mentioned in the Bible. So Quran denies crucifixion of Jesus because God raised him up. He was not crucified. And that's what Muslims believe. So if you love Jesus, then follow his true teachings. Jesus is quoted in the Quran, "Verily God is my Lord and your Lord, therefore serve him, and this is the right way." So that's what Quran said about Jesus. So words of Jesus in the Gospel, Mark 12:29, Jesus said, "Listen, O Israel, the Lord our God is the one and only Lord." So he clearly said God is one creator. Everything is a creation, including Jesus, Moses, everyone. So, and also Luke 4:8 is said, "Worship my Lord and your Lord and serve him only." So that's what Muslims do. Muslims follow the teaching of Jesus. So John 14:23 say, "Anyone who loves me will obey my teachings. My Father will love them." So Jesus mentioned about Father. So that's what the confusion comes, because people think God is his Father, but he will explain everything if I go further. John 14:24 is say, "Anyone who doesn't love me will not obey my teachings. These words you hear are not my own. They belong to the Father who sent me." So Father sent him to us to guide us to the right path and said what to say, and all the words and everything told him to convey a message to us. So we have to obey his teachings. He said, "Obey my teachings, my Father will love them." Then Jesus also said, John 14:1, "Trust in God, also trust in me." Also, he said, "No one comes to the Father except me." Also, he said, "By myself I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, for seek not to please myself, but him who sent me, as the Father sent him." And also, he's clearly mentioned who is Father. "I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." So that clearly mentioned Father doesn't mean physically Father. Father is the one guardian. So God is also our Father, and also God is our God. Also Jesus said, "To my God and your God, to my Father and your Father." So Jesus never ever mentioned in the Bible anywhere he said, "God, I am the only Son." He never said, "I am the only Son of God." If he was saying, I'm Son of God, worship me," Muslim will worship. Who submit to God, of course, follow Jesus' teaching. Which Jesus never said, "I am God" or "Son of God, submit to me, worship me." He always said, "Worship him who I worship." And he clearly mentioned, "God is my Father and your Father. God is my God and your God." So one creator, everything is a creation. So also, what is Islam? Islam is against self-sufficiency and idolatry. Islam don't allow idolatry. And Islam is peace and surrender, obedience. So these are Islam. Islam is submit to one God. So Islam is for everyone, for all the people, no any particular only for Israel or only for Japan or only for one nation. Islam is for everyone. It's universal religion. So, and also Islam is the best Islam. Last Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, the best Islam is feed hungry and spread peace among people you know and those you don't know. That is the best of Islam. What Quran? Quran is the name. Quran is mean recitation or read. So recited from angel to it came revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, from Gabriel. It's from Archangel Gabriel. So it came from God, it came through Gabriel. So its main theological themes, monotheism, engagement. So the way of life for humankind is the testaments, all the revelations is same. There is nothing changed. So follows and confirm Old Testament, New Testament, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, all revealed scriptures. That's what Islam. That's what Quran, Last Testament is support. All the Testament came before. So this is nothing like a new. Everything is same thing because God could reveal one testament and God could give one prophet and say, this is the prophet, follow him. This is the revelation, I gave, and this is the complete. Although God gave us freedom. So we do our way. We say, no, this is the old law. We have to modify this. So God sent another messenger, saying, no, God's words stay forever. That's what all the prophets came one after another to guide people. And what God said about it in the Last Testament, He said, alas to all the people, He disappointed to His servant, because there is no prophet came in this earth, no messenger came in this earth. Mankind didn't mock. Mankind didn't torture them. We didn't try to kill them. Most of them, they got killed by humankind. Torture. All the prophets. There is no prophet escaped from this. So God said, alas to all, disappointed to all of the servants who tortured them. That's what the revelation came through. So we are enjoying the religion and everything. Nobody is torturing us. Nobody is saying anything. But all the prophets, even the 12 disciples, except one, they got hanged and everything, put on cross, just like Jesus. So everybody, they sacrificed themselves, and we are the one enjoying the religion and life. But thanks God for we are not having any test, just like Abraham, slaughter your son. God is not telling us slaughter your son, So these are the one we are enjoying actually, But anyway, the Last Testament is followed the Old, confirm all the Testament came before. So Quran and Jesus is a messenger of God. Quran said, Last Testament. Muslim claims Jesus is the Messiah. Born of a virgin, he got miracles. He was not crucified. God loved him and God raised him up. And also he is purely human, chosen by God. So the Messiah is, he was the son of Mary, was but a messenger of God, and do not say three, no Trinity, and it is not appropriate for the most merciful have a son, because he had no father, he got no son, no wife, nothing. He is one and only. So Bible and Jesus, for I have not spoken of myself, but the Father who sent me, the guardian who sent all the prophets, same message. He gave me a commandment what I should say and what I should speak. So that means revelations. So also 14:22 say, anyone who loves me, follow my teachings. Father will love me. and also anyone who doesn't love me, I already mentioned that. So what is Allah? You probably already heard a Muslim called Allah. Allah is a name, in Middle East they call Allah, we call God. In Elohim, we have Jehovah. So God has no name. God is one. But different places we call different. Ishar, Bhagwan, but God has no particular name because we call him Allah, we call him God, but this is not his name. He is one. So, and he is eternal, creator of the universe, and God cannot be incarnate or represent in human form, cannot risk idolatry. So who is God? It mentioned in the Last Testament. God saying there is no deity except him, and ever living and sustainer of existence. Neither drowsiness overtakes him nor sleep. To him belongs whatever in the heavens or whatever in the earth. Who is that can intercede him without his permission? Nobody can intercede. So he knows what our present and what our past, and also his power is everywhere. So that is God. And one God, it mentioned in the Old Testament, Deuteronomy. It say here, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Also, as I mentioned, Jesus replied, the Lord, listen, O Israel, the Lord our God is the one and only Lord. Isaiah, it say, I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. And also in the Last Testament, it say, if they ask you about me, say, he is the one and only. Allah, or God, the only one to turn for help. He has no child, nor was born from a parent. He is not like anything else, but there is none like him. That is God. Who is Prophet Muhammad? Peace be upon him. You heard about Prophet Muhammad. So it mentioned about foretold, Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms, David, and also Malachi, John. All of them mentioned about the last prophet is coming. Old Testament is say, nevertheless I tell you the truth. No, I will raise up a prophet like yourself, like Moses, among your brethren, among your brothers, and I will put my words in his mouth. And also, Songs of Songs and Isaiah, the book was delivered to him, and he said he is not learned. Although last prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he didn't know how to read or write. So it mentioned that before. And also it say, and when Jesus, the son of Mary, said, O children of Israel, indeed I am the messenger of God to you, confirming that came before me to the Old Testament and bringing good tidings of a messenger to come after me, whose name is Ahmad or Muhammad. But when he came to them with clear evidence, they said, this is obvious magic. Also John 14:16 is say, I will ask my Father. Jesus said, I will ask my Father and he will give you another counselor. This is in Greek word Paraclete, means the Muhammad or Ahmad, to be with you forever. So the last prophet is the sealed prophet, and last testament is the sealed revelation. There will be no more revelation coming, and this is the last revelation. And they follow, confirm Old Testament, New Testament, and last prophet, there will be no more prophet coming. So what is Islam? Islam is only actually for universal, for everyone, only two things it consider. 5 pillars of Islam, but only 2 for obligatory for everyone. The first is there is no God but one. That's the one. Follow the messengers and revelations and angels and those things. But this one thing, There is no God but one God. This is Islam. So when I say only one God I believe, there is no God but God. Okay, so what I supposed to do? I supposed to know, get knowledge, but number two, this is the first one is belief. There is no God but God, and Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of God, and all the messengers came. We have to believe all the prophets and messengers. Also books came, also all the angels came, also all the angels and unseen thing we have to believe. So this is called belief, number one. Number two, put belief in action. Jesus taught us how to worship. So when Jesus worshiped, we find in the gospel, he put his forehead prostrate and worship. So Muslim prostrate and worship 5 times a day. So that's what follow the teaching of Jesus. So these two are obligatory. These two call Islam. Believe in here and prostrate. 5 times a day, submit ourselves to God, and each time we feel this is my last prayer, because we never know when we can be depart from this world. We came into this world with nothing. We didn't even wrap ourselves. Somebody else wrapped us. When we die, we're not going to be able to wrap ourselves. Somebody else will wrap us. So we have to think about departing time. That's what I gave presentation about. Our body is Muslim, but we are not. We follow whatever our desire, our brain. But when God set up the time of our death, this is God said in the last revelation, "Nahnu qaddarna bainakumul maut." I set up the time of your death. So He knows what time we are departing. Some people, they depart when they're born. Some people, they are young. Some people old age. Some people accident, this and that happen. So we don't know when our time comes. So that's why 5 times a day prayer, one to another, we feel like we're submitting, this is my last prayer. So God accepts every prayer. Every time we talk to God, 5 times a day prayer, we talk to God. So these two are Islam, nothing else. The other 3 are sometimes optional, but all of them are taught by Jesus too. All the prophets, they have same message. So number 3 is zakah. So charity, we have to. As I mentioned, when we born, we didn't bring any penny. We didn't wrap ourselves. So God gave us provisions. So this provision is not 100% ours. This is a test. So whatever disadvantage, we have to give them from our portion, some money. So this is a test, because God created, some people are lower, upper, and this and that. This is a test in this life. So 2.5% of the wealth and more, the more you give, God multiply your money in this life, and hereafter it will be waiting for us. When we depart, we can meet whatever we spend. We gave loan to God, so the loan will be paid back hereafter. So this is the 3rd one. And why I say optional, if I don't have any money, I don't need to pay. So these are optional. But first 2, believe in here and put in action by prayer, by following Jesus and all the prophets. So this is the 2 things are Islam. And this is also the 3rd pillar. Number 4 is fasting. Fasting will make you pious. That's what God said. Jesus used to fast for 40 days. So Muslim, every year, 30 days fasting. So this fasting will make us pious. How? First of all, God command us to, He prescribes fasting is obligatory for you, as it was obligatory before. All the people, all the prophets, they had fast. So fasting we are doing for God, and God said, I will give you the reward. because fasting, I tell you I'm fasting, but I just turn and I drink water or food, you know, nobody knows, but God is watching us. That's what we are fasting for God, and God is the reward. That's what the one benefit. Second benefit is physical benefit. Once in a year, we tune up our body. So when we tune up our body, you know, the body will get healthy. So this is the health benefit. And also number third benefit is social benefit. You know, people don't have any food. They don't know when food are coming. So we have a, thank you, brother. So we have a, we have food, even we are fasting, we know when to eat. But some people, they don't have it. So we can take our money from our pocket and give it to them. So these are the beauty of the fasting, you know. So we can know, and the test God gave us, you know, brotherhood. We have to know, doesn't matter is in the community or far, you know, we have to help each other. So the fasting will make us pious. And this is number 4. And number 5 is once in a lifetime. Go to pilgrimage. Go to see what historical things happened from Adam to most of the prophets. So go and see where Adam and Eve got mercy. You know, the mountain of mercy there. So you should be in that area in particular time in order to accept by God, because God gave them mercy, and all the people, God will give mercy if they come over there. But this is also optional. The fasting also optional, like if you are traveling, you don't need to fast. So you can make up later. And also if you are physically not healthy, you just give some money to poor, you know, so you'll get benefit of fasting. Also, if children don't need to fast, also the cycle of woman, you know, in the month, they don't need to fast. So a lot of exemption in fasting. And also the pilgrimage, if you don't have any money, so you don't need to go. You know, if you have money, then you and physically fit, you have to go visit and see what the historical things happen over there and ask forgiveness to God. So this is Islam, 5 pillars. Number 1 and 2 is the one is main Islam, is faith in here and submit. You know, pray five times a day. Only few minutes pray, each of them. You know, dawn, one pray before sunrise, and also noon when meridian comes, you know, right there. And after that, and in between sunset, there is another one, number 3rd, number 4th, after sunset, before go to bed, another one. So these are the obligatory prayer. God prescribed this prayer for mankind. So this is actually Islam. But I will take question. This is the Kaaba. This is the place, the black house. You can see built originally from Adam, but Noah's time it was destroyed. The flood destroyed. So Abraham revealed that the Kaaba is called the black house, the house of God. So what is significant in there, like is a unity of the mankind, because people face toward that. You can see the carpet face that way. So if you are west, you face west toward that house. And this is the unique thing is, if you go Google, this is the center of the earth. From north to south, south to north, this is the center of the earth. And this was revealed by Abraham, original came from Adam. So from that time, the pilgrimage never stopped. You know, people go pilgrimage. So still now people go, you can see like thousands of people all the time, 24 hours. If you go to Google or YouTube live, you can see like Kaaba, K-A-B-A, you will see like you will see thousands of people, even millions of people. They sometimes, they go over there from around the world, and they just visit, and they go 7 times around. That's the ritual. And also, what is Kaaba? If you say K-A-B-A or K-A-B-A, it's same thing. You will find in Google, and you will see like how people they are doing over there live in YouTube. So Kaaba live, and also there is a footstep of Abraham. You can see, you can just search footstep of Abraham, and you will find the footstep actually on a rock, a stone footstep. That one he used to make this house, thousands of years ago. And people call this footstep because this stone was lifting him up and down to build this house. So there are a lot of miracles in there when people go to pilgrimage. So when prayer time, 5 times a day prayer, people stop doing this, going around, and they just go around and start praying 5 times a day. And all over the world, there are mosques just like this, people pray. So you can see the house right there in the middle, and see how many people are there. This is prayer time. They are lined up already for praying. So this is the place Abraham built, and a lot of historical things happen over there. You can see once in a Muslim got 2 festivals right after Ramadan one, and 1 festival on pilgrimage time, because when Abraham sacrificed his son and got replaced, so we do have festival that time, like we sacrificed. So that's what we they did thousands of years ago. So still now, and till the day of judgment, it will be continued. So this is the place. And also after that, who is Muhammad and Jesus family tree, peace be upon them? So both from Abraham. As you see, he God told him to reveal the house. He revealed it, but who is the last prophet, and Jesus and Moses and Isaac and Ishmael? So these are all from Abraham. From Ishmael to Prophet Muhammad, there is no prophet came. But from Isaac to Jesus, all the prophets came. Moses, David, Solomon, Jesus, John the Baptist, all of them, they came. So they are brethren. As on the last testament, God said, I will raise up a prophet among your own brethren, and I will put my words in his mouth. So that's what last prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So that's the same family they came. So, and this is the mountain of mercy, as I said, when people go to pilgrimage, they visit the mountain of mercy. Adam and Eve, they get mercy over there. So a lot of historical things are involved. And as I mentioned, Islam is not like follow that someone, or name somebody. Islam is started from the beginning. All the prophets, they have the same message of Islam, and Muslim who submit to God. So it doesn't matter humankind or sun or moon or anything, or our body submit to God. If we don't submit, our body submit, because we don't have any control. We have control. God gave us freedom to choose whatever we like. If we want to drink, that's our problem, our desire, But if we follow the command, if we follow Jesus, the teaching, we have to know, can we be oppressed to somebody? No, because God said these are not good. Can I murder somebody? No. But if I want to, I could do it. God gave us freedom. That's what our body is Muslim. We are Muslim. But our tongue and our freedom God gave us, we choose whatever we like. That's what Islam. So basically, you got idea about Islam, right? Okay. Now you can ask me question. If you have any question, you know, I will be happy to answer. I know you get a lot of questions about, yeah, but you can ask me anything if you think about. Yeah.
Maybe a complicated question.
No. It's,
I know that in the history of Christianity, there are a lot of different understandings of what idolatry is. When you speak about avoiding idolatry, what sorts of things are you thinking about avoiding?
you're talking about adultery.
Idolatry.
Huh?
Idolatry.
Adultery, yeah. So adultery is like illegal sex, right? That's what it. Okay.
Oh, so
Not-
I'm saying
like
not adultery.
Oh, idolatry. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry about it. That's what I need
I
to
know.
clear it up. Yeah. Adultery is a lot of ways you can use adultery because if you prefer something, more than the value of God or similar, that is adultery. Because we have to submit to one God and all praise be to Him, nobody else. But if we praise somebody else, and as a human we can praise, but if we praise just like we supposed to pray to our Creator, that means we are doing idolatry. And also if we make idols, a lot of times we think I made image of Jesus, image of Mary, but the thing is sometimes we do even more than this. We take flower to there, we close it to worship. So these are idolatry, but as Old Testament, New Testament, and is similar idolatry is nothing different. Even the house I showed you, black house Abraham built, there was one last prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He born. There was 360 idols in there. So people, even Jesus was there, and other idols was there, big idols. So he was against. But he got tortured and everything, because he said, no, this is wrong. So same thing as when Jesus stepped into Jews, and so they said, no, you are, trying to change our temple, this and that. So that was wrong, and they put him in cross, indeed, all the way last. So same thing, he had to migrate from Mecca to Medina because of this situation. Even his own family rejected him, So a lot of things, idolatry is not only like these. Idolatry could be in this different image. Even sometimes if we put a frame with the picture and we just every year we just do something over there, it's closer to idolatry. We have to worship only God because as Jesus taught us, Muhammad, Moses, everybody taught us same message. So idolatry is similar.
We have the same conversations in Christianity.
Yeah.
On one hand, let's not make statues.
Yes.
On the other hand, let's not make wealth into something that takes the place of God.
Yeah, exactly. As you see this mosque, can you see Prophet Muhammad's image or anybody's image or any picture? No. Only message you can see something like this, but only message is revelation from the Last Testament. So we don't put in any image or anybody's picture or even real picture, we don't. Because we don't want it. We just worship the one who created us, So we submit to Him. Even we try not to put in our house too, unless there's a portrait or something, but not like worshiping that. Yeah. Ask me anything.
I have a question.
Yes.
If someone grows up Muslim, will they grow up and read the Quran as they grow up and also read the Old and New Testament, or only read the Quran?
You can read anything. Knowledge is so important. Knowledge from last prophet, peace be upon him, said, cradle to grave. Seek knowledge is obligatory. Doesn't matter if you read Old Testament, New Testament, because put trust in God and direct line to God. Ask God, guide me. So He's the one He will guide, And also the knowledge, His name is knowledge, because He got everything, So we got nothing, knowledge. But if He don't permit us to get knowledge, we're not going to get knowledge. Because He mentioned in the last testament, without His permission, nobody can get knowledge. So we have to seek knowledge. And along with that, He said, it's obligatory for men and women to get knowledge. It's obligatory. Because if we don't get knowledge, we'll be the moon, because they will get shining from sun. So we want to be the sun. We have to have our own knowledge. Or whatever you say, I will believe. I say, oh, okay. But we have to get our own knowledge. Is open knowledge, and especially now we don't need to go to the Library of Washington. We can open the Google or Yahoo or whatever you like, Bing. Just type, and knowledge is there. When according to John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, when it was written and how accurate it is, or how accurate the Last Testament or Old Testament, this and that, everything is there. It's not written by me. It's open source. So all the good things we can consume, we can take. So knowledge is very important. And Muslim or Islam don't limit their knowledge. It's unlimited. So more knowledge we get, the more accuracy and more closer to God. We'll know God. We'll know Jesus. We'll know crucifixion. We'll know about the blood He gave us for us or not. Why? Because that's what Muslims don't believe. Yes, a disagreement with three things. Crucifixion. Because Muslims said, because the Last Testament God said, I raised Him up. He was not dead or not crucified. And also, second thing, Muslims don't agree. He sacrificed His blood for our sin, because He never said, and why a person have to sacrifice for my sin? I have to pay for my own parking ticket. So that's what Muslims disagree, because He never said, going to the cross for you, because even He said, Ila lama sabastani. Oh, I'm very disappointed. Did you forget me? He's talking to God. If we believe in Bible, the last word. And these are the one. And also He never said, I am the Son of God. Worship me. Because He never said in the Bible. So these are the disagreement, these three things. Everything else is same. Muslim disagree with the gospel, because the gospel never said, even this gospel never said, I am God. John, he said, He is the only begotten Son. That's the made confusion. He never said, I am the begotten Son. He said, my Father and your Father, my God, your God. But John, whoever wrote the Bible, he said He is the only begotten Son. The scribe, the author wrote, but he never said, I am the only Son in the Bible. So if you are saying, Muslim always believe his words. That's what Muslim believe. Whatever is said in the Bible, Muslim take it, you know. So that's what I meant, like I read the Bible also. Okay. It's good to know because I study Old Testament, New Testament, try to find the truth. I'm also a student of comparative religion, you know, because a lot of times like misunderstanding about Islam and Muslim, you know, because the people think like, oh, they're terrorized, they do this, they do that. But actually, if you want to know about Islam, you have to read the Revelation. If we don't read books, if I see somebody, then I can say he's a Muslim. Because, you know, some Christians, they do crime, Muslims, they do crime. But it doesn't mean like Islam say or Christianity say do this, you know. So these are the difference. Okay, I'm the only one talking. You just.
What is like the true significance of like only praying towards Mecca, and what does one do if one can't figure out which direction Mecca is?
Okay, actually, if somebody don't know which way, you just pray the way you want. God will accept your prayer. But it's good to know navigations, because if I see the sun is going this way, to this way, and I can figure one time like my Kaaba is on the east, so I have to face, doesn't matter, try to face in the east. Or it's important, if you even drive, the timing is important to pray. Doesn't matter which way you are driving, you pray. Pray means you remember God. You know, when Jesus prayed, similarly, like how we follow. Jesus prayed, he did ablution. He washed his hand, you know, and everything. Then he cleaned himself, then he prayed. Some Muslim does same thing, you know. Also, this is a unity to face that way. But God is everywhere. If you don't know that way, because it's prescribed to face that way, you just face any way. God is everywhere. So with that, let me ask you. So do you think God is everywhere? Everywhere? That's not true. God is not everywhere. God is called in the arch, on the top of every level, on the top. His power is everywhere. You know, he's closer to our jugular vein. He's closer to our jugular vein. He's not everywhere, because he comes down every day before dawn to the last heaven, and this is the prime times for sleep, and this is an optional prayer. If somebody get up on that time before dawn, then God is asking, "Oh, you who believe, invoke me, ask me something, I will give you. Ask me forgiveness, I will forgive you." So that's the only time he comes down. And he watches his servants, whoever getting up and asking me for forgiveness. So these are, if you get knowledge, you will find everything in there, you know, what time God is doing, how his power works and everything, and what will do like hereafter in Day of Judgment, after Day of Judgment, what devil will do, you know, and devil will accuse devil, and what his sermon will be. Everything is explained, you know. There is nothing, but only the thing is, if you seek knowledge, it's not like I'm hiding anything, it's open, you know. So everything is explained. So you open your mind, you know, and see, you will get more closer. You will get more closer to Jesus if you like get knowledge, you know. You will find Jesus is closer to your heart, you know. God is closer to your heart. So that's the only thing. Like there is lawful, unlawful, you know. So eating lawful, unlawful, behavior, desire. Everything is lawful, unlawful. So God gave us the command. So we have to follow His command. If we don't follow His command, follow devil's command, then God said, I made the hell for you. Along with the devil, you will go there. And the paradise for those who follow my guidance. And if somebody asks my guidance, I'll give them guidance. And somebody don't ask, just want to be, do whatever freedom he got. God will give them freedom. God will give them the worldly benefit, not eternal benefit. These are the ones. Okay, so I want more questions, so we can learn more. You can teach me something.
I'm doing them all a favor. I would talk to you all day.
No. You ask me anything.
So I remember that when I was a teenager, I read the Hakeem, which is a religious scripture from China. And then I spoke to someone who was raised in the traditions of Taoism. And there was a lot in their tradition that I had not learned from reading their book. That wasn't necessarily incorrect according to the book, but that there have been thousands of years since the book had been codified. I'm aware that happens in all religions. Are there particularly meaningful things that you say were not specifically mentioned in the Quran, but are also important to how you understand Islam?
Well, God said in the Last Testament, there is no nation in this earth I didn't send any messenger or books. So that could be revelation from God. So we can't judge anything. Only God knows. These are the unseen things. But it's good to get knowledge. Whatever in there, it's good to get knowledge. And the whole thing is we have limited brain God gave us. Because the galaxy we are in, if you see the sun, moon, and everything, So if we put, in the science, if we put our fingertip on this way, there are millions of galaxies on the tip of our finger. So God is, think about it. We are nothing, So God gave us whatever revelation and whoever messenger and whoever we understand. And there is no confusion and there is clear evidence. We take those. And we take the true teaching of them. That's what we need. Because if we depart from this world, we're not going to be able to come back and correct ourselves. So this is a one-time journey. So that's what we need to know and get knowledge. Even the Chinese, they follow that, or any other religion, the Buddhism, it's nothing wrong to see or read and see what Buddha said, what Hindu religion said. It's good to get knowledge, so we're not going to get confused. Because if my friend is Hindu, he comes, I would tell him what Hinduism is if I know knowledge. But if I don't, and I would think oh, he's telling me the truth, and I'm telling myself truth too. So everybody is truth by themselves. So it's good to get knowledge so we can find the true knowledge. And God said, as I mentioned, without His permission, we're not going to get knowledge. Why don't you ask me about crucifixion? It's good to know. I'm telling you, as a follower of Jesus, because Jesus came to correct the Jews, and he departed as a Jew because the follower of Judaism, So he never said, my religion will be Christian. Although we follow, whoever follow Christ, we are Christians. But he never said, I'm creating a new religion, although it created by itself. Although the Romans and Jews, whatever conspiracy they did, and they killed Jesus according to the Bible. But as the last testament, God said they never killed, I raised him up. But if you see the humiliation and torture he got without clothes off and everything, So in that time, the Romans, they didn't treat anybody, the citizen of Italy, they never did. Only they did the foreigners, just like they ruled in the, the area of Jerusalem and that area. So they tortured, not only Jesus, they tortured others. They tortured other disciples too. So it's very, very sad, like if we see what even God said he raised him up, and even it said like he was crucified, the clear evidence you will find it, about the situation and everything, who was in the crucifixion, who attended there, how many people was there, what the situation, what the weather was there, who was the John, mentioned that good John was there, is it the John the Baptist or other John, because they got so many Johns in there. Even John, according to John Gospel, you find like 3, John 1, John 2, John 3, something like this. So it's like we read, we understand, we take the good words from them, but we have to judge by ourselves. We don't want to confuse. That's what I personally do. So whatever I am following, is a clear evidence, and I have directly connect with God, 5 times a day. So he's the one he will guide. God said, if I guide someone, nobody can misguide him, and if I don't guide somebody, nobody can guide him. So that's what God said in the last revelation. So it's very, very important, about also God said in the last testament, he said, O believers, O you who believe, speak the truth about oneness of God. Obey God and obey messengers, then I will guide you to the right direction. I will forgive you, and I will make you enter into the paradise. So that's what he's saying, God. So you can ask me anything, or I will make questions by myself.
What do the numbers in the middle of that clock mean?
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the first, is it dawn prayer.
Okay.
We do 5:08.
Okay.
Then this is sunrise, 6:35. Then this is the one noon prayer, 1:38. This is the one in between noon and sunset prayer, 5:31. This is the one sunset prayer. This is the night prayer. And this is the lunar calendar, and this is Gregorian calendar. So it's on the app, it's automatic change, because the sunrise is changing, so the prayer time change is automatic. So when God created heaven and the earth, he created 12 months. So out of 12 months, 4 months are sacred, like one of the pilgrimage time and others sacred. So these months actually, the lunar month, God created only for worship, and lunar month, it goes around the solar month every 33 years, because it's 10 days shorter. So it rotates. once in a lifetime you'll see 1 or 2 times maybe, it rotates. Like summertime we are fasting, then maybe after 33 years, summertime, or it will rotate winter. So it's a kind of other miracles too. But only one thing, Muslims, whoever submit to God, only them, they believe in Jesus, they honor Jesus, they respect Jesus. There is no other religion they are closer than, because nobody believes in Jesus. And Jews don't believe in Jesus, Jews don't follow Jesus. And also no other religion except Muslim, because God said, I revealed all the revelations. I gave Moses the Injil, his gospel, and also I gave Moses Torah, the Old Testament. I gave David the Psalms. So we have to believe, we have to follow, their instructions. Then we can be Muslim. If we don't, that's what Muslim is not like, follow something or follow somebody. We don't. We follow the true message of God. That's what Muslims. And that's all I have. And this is the chapter, every time 5 times a day prayer. This is the one we read from our heart, and God answered all of them. 7 verses, and God answered every verse. So without reading this, prayer not going to be accepted. But this is the first chapter of the Last Testament. So if you go to Google, and if you want to read, any language, you will find over there the Final Testament or the Quran. And this is the first chapter. And this is the first chapter we have to read. And we are praising Him. We are saying, you are the Lord of the world. And we are saying, you are the most merciful, most kind. And we are saying, you are the only master of day of judgment. And we are saying, you alone we are worship, you alone we are asking for help. And only one help we are asking Him. Not money, not clothes, nothing. We are asking, guide us to the straight path. That's all, only asking to God. And God, every single time, is when we say, all praise be to God, Lord of the world. And God said, my servant is praising me. So every time He's answering. All 7 verses, God answered. So that's what we contact with God, and God is answering us. So this is not only for Arabs. If you see Arab, they are like a minority, like 18-20%. But Muslims are all over the world, from Russia, China, Indonesia, or Canada, Brazil, everywhere, the Muslims. So they face toward that house, wherever they are, So that's called unity. That's what Abraham taught us. That's what all the mankind, doesn't matter if we follow any religion, is to me and to God, is considered, all the people they're born as a Muslim, because the God raised them up, God, and He submitted to Him from all the messengers, all the prophets. And whoever like my father, I just follow whatever he said. But there is a time in our life, we can individually think, am I doing right? Am I not? So when I ask God, guide me, He is the one, He will guide us. So, but we are not particularly, but only we born, our soul created the same time at Adam. We are same age of Adam, Abraham, and everyone. But we are coming to this earth one after another, But soul made same. Soul never die. Our physical body die. So when our soul goes up, so that's the one God will give us back when the day of judgment, then there will be day of judgment. So everything is same as Old Testament, New Testament, it's nothing different. Everything is same. But only the thing is that truth and clear evidence, is the final testament. And it is so clear, there is no confusion. Because if we throw all the books in the ocean, and if you call back, God said, I protect my words. And He never, we can't temper or change His word. So His word's always there, and it will come back if we throw everything, even the Last Testament, New Testament, all the books in this earth, if we throw in the ocean, if we call back, only the final testament going to come. So you can say this, how could be only the thing, final testament memorized by 25 million people in this earth is exactly same, nothing changed, same way they memorize, is easy to memorize, and if we call back, only final testament will come. There is nothing like original way, it will come back any other testament. So final testament, God said, this is the sealed book, and I will protect this. So He protected in human heart, and He is protecting in it's called Lawh Mahfuz, one of them in the with Him in there. So it can't be changed because He gave us the authority, He gave us the freedom, whatever you like. So all the revelation came, and all the messenger came and tell them you are not doing right. So what we did, we tortured them. We enlarged, we just God said, there is no messenger left. You didn't mock them, you didn't disobey them. Lot of even if you see Jesus, if you see John the Baptist, if you see Zechariah, if you see Lord Prophet Muhammad, all peace be upon them, Moses, Abraham, all of them got tortured, So even God is saying same thing, there is none, you didn't mock them, So, am I feel you, give you boring? Are you bored? Well, I'm so sorry. And it took almost hour and a half, right? Yeah. But I hope you enjoyed. And maybe if you have any question, you can always send me. It's Hope Center at gmail.com. Hope Center at gmail.com if you have any question. Yeah, but always remember God. God said, if you remember me, I remember you. And always we have to thank Him. He said, if you thank me, then I will give you more favor. So whatever He gave us, we have to always thank Him, because He gave different than me to you, but He wanted to test us. But He said, if you appreciate to me, whatever I gave, I will give you more. But if you are ungrateful, He is saying, remember, my punishment is severe. So He could, but all of us will get testing from Him. Small test or big test, different way of test. But we have to ask Him His guidance every time. He will guide us to the right path. So, any more question? Ask me. That's no problem. I'm just the one making question and answer. So how long are you going to stay in Detroit, Hamtramck?
3 days, 2 days.
3 days. You from Chicago too? Oh, okay. When did you come last time?
2019.
Oh, okay. So we modified our mosque.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's God will. Thank you so much. We are.
Farmers expanded too.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, when we work for God, God work for us. One thing, if we are selfless, helping others, then God help us, in way possible. And if we do for ourselves, then we are doing for ourselves. The reward is ourselves. But when we do for others, God will help us. Also,